Welcome, I'm Kim. We have a short hip mobility sequence today. If you set up on your mat, no, you're gonna end up off of the edges of it, but you don't need a mat at all for this. When you're ready, we're gonna plop our butts down on the floor. Find a seat. So from this seat, bring the feet out in front of you and bring them wider than the hips here. And then think about the low belly, the side waist, and the low back, and lengthen up out of that so that we slightly gather the core in so that we can get taller. From here, drop both knees over to the right. That simple. The inner edge of the left knee will come to the earth. Now lift both knees up, drop both knees over to the left. Inner edge of the right knee comes to the earth. The feet can move around. Come back to center. Now drop both knees to the right. Lift up out of the side waist, and you can kind of face the right shin here and allow the left hip to sink closer down towards the earth. There's a good chance the left sit bone doesn't actually reach the earth, but think about that action even as we engage through the low belly outlet. Lift both knees, drop them over to the left. Again, let the heart sort of face the left shin, so allow the torso to twist a little bit. Now drop the right hip down. So we're allowing this internal rotation of the right femur bone as we drop that hip closer to the earth while still lifting up out of the low belly. Let's do that a couple times quicker and then we'll add on. So both knees up, both knees to the right, drop left hip down even as we lengthen torso up. Lift, knees go left, drop right hip down, lengthen up. Lift, knees go right, drop the hip as we lengthen up. Lift, knees go left, drop the hip as we lengthen up. Lift, knees go right, we'll add on, drop the hip as we lengthen up. From here, let's lift up to standing on our shin. So we'll generally keep this leg shape, and you may find that the right foot is sort of loosely touching the left knee or the left thigh. You can adjust as you need. So lift the butt up. Now we've got the right shin down and the left shin and probably the top of the left foot down. Don't worry about what way you're facing. Let your hip shape dictate that. Fire both glutes here so we get a little press forward of the hip points and a lengthening down of the tailbone. Ideally without using your hands, but if your hands want to help you out, let them. Hinge back, let the butt find the earth. Lift both knees, bring them over to the left. We have that loose connection of the left foot to the right knee or thigh. Now lift up, so we're standing on the shins. Fire both glutes to lengthen the tailbone down and press the hip points forward. Again, a little bit quicker. Hinge down so we're sitting on the tush. Lift the knees, drop them right, lift the butt, little squeeze to press hip points forward. Sit, knees go left, lift onto the shins, squeeze to press hip points forward. Sit, knees to the right, lift, squeeze. Sit, knees go left, lift, squeeze. Sit. You might be walking around the room. That's fine too. Knees go right. We'll add on one more thing. Lift, squeeze. Now we will truly end up off of our mats, out of our space, facing any direction. Weight the right shin. So spill yourself into the right shin. Pick one thing to look at, probably a little off to the right. Low lunge. So pluck up first the left knee, and then see if we can float this left leg and just step it out in front of us, whatever in front means for your body at this point. Bend the left knee, and then from here, lengthen the tailbone down, a little scoop action so we get some nice length in the front of the right hip. Good. Let's go back to where we were. Sink the hips back a little bit. Pick one thing to look at slowly. Pluck up this left foot, set the left shin down to where it started. So roughly left knee touches the right sole of the foot. Hinge down, butt to the earth. Lift both knees, bring them over to the left. Lift the tush, give a little squeeze. Now pick that one point to look at. You can adjust the shin as you need. First, pluck up the right knee. Now slide that foot in, pluck up the whole foot. Low lunge, step that right foot off somewhere so we create a low lunge shape. Bend the right knee so we've got a nice deep bend. And then lengthen the tailbone down. Little scoop action so we can breathe space into the front of the left hip flexor. From here, lighten the weight in the right foot so you can slide it in and then pluck it up. Step that right shin back to where it was, so loosely sole the left foot makes contact with the right knee. And then we plop the tush down. Again, let's move through it. Knees go over to the right. Lift the hips, squeeze, and then pluck up the left leg, step it off into your low lunge, scoop the tailbone under. Now set that left shin back to where it started. Sit the tush down. Knees go to the left. Pluck the tush up, little squeeze of the glutes. Step the right foot off the mat, low lunge. Lengthen the tailbone down. Bring that right shin back to the mat. Sit bones down, knees go right, lift, squeeze, step the left foot off, low lunge, lengthen tailbone down. Left shin back to the earth, butt down, knees to the left, lift, squeeze the glutes. Right foot steps off the mat, low lunge, lengthen the tailbone down. Step the right shin back to where it started. Sit bones down, knees to the right, lift, squeeze, step that left foot off to the mat, scoop the tailbone under. Step the left shin back to where it started, butt goes down, knees over to the left, lift, squeeze, step the right foot off the mat, low lunge, lengthen the tailbone down. Step the right shin back to where it started, tush goes down, knees to the right, lift, squeeze the glutes, step the left foot off the mat, low lunge, little different. We will go ahead and scoop the tailbone under. This time, lift the right arm up, get a little lateral bend, and breathe some space into the right side body. And then twist over to the left. Right elbow goes outside of the left thigh. Hands are welcome to go to prayer. Now level out through the hips. Engage the core even as we send the sit bones back. And then wring out the spine. So by leveling the hips, we bring this twist into the spine instead of into the pelvis. Unfurl your twist. We'll just do the other side. Step the left shin back to where it started. Lower the tush down. Knees go over to the left. Lift the hips, little squeeze of the glutes. Step the right foot off of the mat. Low lunge, scoop the tailbone under. Scoop it long. Lift the right arm up and just up and over. What was that? Left arm up and then bend up and over to the right, lateral bend. Take a nice big breath to create space through that whole left side body. And then twist over to the right, bend the left elbow, elbow outside of the thigh. Hands are welcome to go to prayer. The fingers can tent, whatever feels most comfortable. Gather a bit through the core as we lengthen the sit bones back, and then level out the hips. Try to sort of make them roughly level with the earth so that we can wring out through the spine. And we breathe into this. So it's a little bit of pressure of the left arm on to the right thigh and vice versa, right thigh into left arm. Lift up, unfurl, pick that steady point, step that right shin back to where it started. Plop the tush down, lift the knees up to center from here, and drop them once again over to the right. Make this shape comfortable. So if you need to make a bigger bend or a smaller bend in the knees, that's okay. Take a second to actually use the right hand to move any sort of flesh out from under the right tush. giving us a little extra space to drop this left tush lower, so that sit point closer to the earth as we still lengthen up out of the side waist and the low belly. We'll bring a small twist into this. So sprinkle the left fingers off to the side. Now, as we twist, we will round the spine. So imagine someone hooked a little something to your heart or your sternum and then thread it through the torso, back through the heart, so that string's coming out the back body, and then they give a little tug. So when we talk about rounding or flexing or opening the back of the heart, imagine someone pulling on that string to really create that space and that hollowing. So talking's done. Sprinkle the left finger, open the right arm up, and then round the spine, hollow out the core, hollow out the heart, scoop that right hand underneath of the left arm. Inhale, open up. Exhale, scoop round and twist. Inhale, open up. Exhale, scoop round and twist. Inhale, open up. Exhale, scoop round and twist. One more. Inhale, open up. Exhale, scoop round and twist. Lift up to center. Grab hold of this left ankle with the left hand. To get out of this, imagine the hip rolls around in the socket. So think about lifting up and actually rolling the hip out to unfurl that. Step the sole of the right foot out in front of you. Pluck up this left leg and wing the left knee out to the side, to the left side, setting the left ankle on top of the right thigh. And let's just take a moment here in this little seated figure 4. So you can move around, you can walk the right hip closer in, the right foot closer in, connecting a little bit with the breath. Now, if you walked the right foot pretty close in, give yourself some more space. Walk it a little further away. Plant the hands and get really strong, like we're grabbing hold of the earth, and wrap the eyes of the elbows out towards the sides of you, away from your body. Press into the right foot and the hands. Lift the hips. Now, if you're low like this, perfect. But maybe if we were able to lift the hips up a little bit more, we give a little extra firing of the glutes. Lower the sit bones back down, pluck up the left arm, and then twist over to the right, reaching the left arm so that it sort of touches the sole of the left foot. That may be on the forearm or the elbow or the above the elbow. Bring the left hand back behind you, lift the hips, press, lower back down, pluck up the left arm, twist to the right. Inhale, circle around, hand back down, lift, press up towards the ceiling, lower back down, and then find that twist to hold. I'll switch around so you can see a bit better. So if this lands on the elbow or the forearm, lovely. If you get the foot a little bit higher, you may choose to adjust this right hand, your support hand. Wherever we are, lengthen up out of the side waist and rotate the torso away from the legs and breathe. And unfurl from here. Gently release. Bring the feet back out in front of you. Drop the knees to the left. Now take the time to bend or loosen the bend in the knees as much as you need, and pay attention to what the ankles are doing. If they're pretty deeply bent, you can straighten them a little more. If the knees are a little more open, you may choose to flex the ankles. Use a hand to move all the flesh out from underneath of the left sit bone, giving yourself a little more space to drop the right sit bone closer down to the earth. And think about sort of that sinking of the hip as we lift up out of the side waist and the low belly and the low back. Sprinkle the left fingers off to the side. Now remember, someone's got a little hook on your heart, and now they thread it through. So it's coming out your back body. Inhale the right arm open. Exhale, round, open back a heart. Scoop the right arm underneath of the left, little tuck of the chin. Inhale, open up. Exhale, scoop round and twist, hollow out the core as well. Inhale, open up. Exhale, scoop round, twist. Inhale, open up. Exhale, scoop round, twist. Inhale, open up. And exhale, scoop round, twist. Hold it for a sec. And then release. Grab hold of this right ankle with the left right hand so that we can actually plug up this leg and rotate our way out of this. Again, step the left foot a little out in front of you. Wing this right knee out to the side and then set the right ankle on top of the left thigh. It in no way matters where you're facing in the room. Bring the hands behind you and create that connection. Grip the earth from here and just take a little time to breathe and move and explore through your own hips. If these pauses feel boring, that's okay. That can be natural, but try to bring the awareness back in to the hip and to the space that you're creating. Working on that focus as well. Now, if you brought that left foot in pretty close, moved a little further away from you, reconnect the hands to the earth, connect the left foot to the earth, pluck the tush up. And if you're low with a hinge, that's okay. And if you're higher, you may give the glutes a little squeeze and lift up some more. Drop the sit bones down, pluck up this right arm, and then twist over to the left, reaching that arm sort of in front of the sole of the right foot. Now the right hand goes behind you. Pluck up the tush, lift and squeeze. Lower the hips. Pluck up the right hand, twist, bring that arm in front of the sole of the right foot. Right hand behind you. Lift the tush. Tush down. Lift the right hand, and here we hold. So it may be right here. You can adjust the arms as needed. If you get that foot up nice and high, you may really want to adjust where this left hand is. And then we all lengthen up, starting all the way down, nice and low, all the way from the low back and the deep core. Lift up and then twist over to the left. And breathe. This should feel kind of yummy. If it doesn't, modify it. So you could do something much bigger and more spacious. Our hips are shaped differently, so know that your bony anatomy plays a role in this. And then unfurl from here, and let's just close out with one malasana to even ourselves out. So the feet come out in front of us again, and they probably walk in a little closer. Hands behind you, and you can press into the hands to lift the tush up. Start to walk the hands in. Now, heels on the earth here. So that might mean walking the feet pretty wide, and we bring the arms inside of the legs. Now, if your hips don't like accessing this pose from your tush, then you just come up to a stand, you walk the feet wide, and you bend the knees. If your body hates this altogether, sit on something, make a little book pile, and actually put your sit bones down on a supported object. While you're here, engage through the arches of the feet, drip the tailbone down, create some length and space through the spine. There's many things for the hands and arms to do. I hope that your hips feel ready a little bit better than when they started. I thank you so much for joining me. If you like this, please subscribe and leave any comments or questions below. Thank you.